Okay, so I'm back after a few weeks of a break. Gotta be honest, not much has changed. I take that back, a few things have. I'll get to that later on in the video or the next video. But today, as you guys can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be setting up a new planted shrimp tank. Now, it's a tank that I've had for a while, and I've had a couple of different things in it. I've had the little baby frontoses in there when I was raising them up, the baby marble char catfish, and a couple other different things. But we're going to be dialing it back a little bit as far as what's going to be going in there size-wise, and it's not going to be something that I'm raising out, obviously, with the shrimp. I haven't decided what kind of shrimp I want to do in there, but I know that's what I want to make it as, is a shrimp tank. Now, me being more of a fish person, I may end up putting some little raspberry or a little ember tetch or something like that in there with them later on, but I definitely want to make this more focused towards the shrimp, so that's what we're going to do. Now, it's a 10-gallon tank. It's going to be a pretty simple scape. I've got some seiryu stone, which is just basically like a gray dragon stone, and then I'm going to be trying out a new kind of substrate, and it's called Fluval Stratum. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I have used a gravel similar to it many times before. It seems like I've got it in half my tanks, and that is Eco-Complete. It's by C. I really like it, and it does a really good job at growing plants, but I wanted to try something out, something a little bit different, and this is supposed to be really good for growing plants and also really good for keeping shrimp as well, so that's why I wanted to try it. And then I'm also going to be planting some Monte Carlo in there, which is just basically like an easier version of dwarf baby tears. You know, you don't have to CO2 it and all that. And so hopefully, I've tried it out in the past before. I didn't do very well with it, but I've learned some things about it, and I think I might do a little bit better with it this time around. So we'll see how that works, and that should hopefully take off and be a really nice looking carpeting, really low growing foreground plant, and it should look really good with the shrimp. I think you guys know the look that I'm going for. Once I get the gravel in there, I'm going to start playing around with the seiryu stone, try to get it just right, and then I'll figure out where to start placing the Monte Carlo. I've got it in patches, not in pots. That was the big difference that I did this time compared to last time, so that should make it a whole lot easier to plant. But that's pretty much it. Should be fun, should look good, so let's get started. Alright, so it's actually been about 2 weeks since I set up the 10-gallon tank. I did not plan on it being this long for me to film this video, but the Monte Carlo, the plants that I was going to plant in the tank, actually took a few days to get here. I did not have them when I first started filming the video, so that took a few days for them to get here. Then I had to plant them, and then I got caught up with some other things, and that's why it's taking this long to film this video. But the tank is actually doing really good. Now, check out this patch of the Monte Carlo. That looks great. It's really thick and green and lush, and actually some sprouts have already started to come off of it. You can see them right there, and there's a few out here in the front. So that's really darn good. And then you come over here to this, and it is a completely different story. Now, I don't know how much of an effect that the plants taking longer to get here than they were supposed to take to get here had an effect on the plants and whatnot, because they usually will ship plants with no water in the bag, and as long as it's somewhat moist, they're totally fine. Plants like this, they can be out of the water for several days, but it took an extra 5 days for them to get here, so I don't know how much of an effect that had on them, but they've been in the tank now for a good week and a half, and I haven't really seen much improvement out of this batch. I have seen actual growth out of this batch though, so completely different. And I think I am just going to go in there and just kind of pluck away these dead leaves and whatnot, and then just kind of wait for the new growth to come out. But other than that, I am starting to get a little bit of algae growing in here. A couple snails ended up in here. I'm assuming they came off on the plants. You can see one actually right there in the center, but some algae is starting to grow in here, which is a good sign. So pretty soon I will be adding some stuff in here. Now, I'm not going to add the shrimp right away to it, even though I know that is going to be the main target thing about this tank. I'm going to add some kind of little test fish in here just to kind of get it, you know, completely cycled, and then let that little guy or whatever I put in here be in here for a good week or two, and then we'll start adding the shrimp. Now, I haven't decided what shrimp I want to add in here, but I am going to stick to just one species of shrimp. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now, as far as this gravel, this stuff is completely different to Eco-Complete. I know I compared it to that in the intro. It is totally different. This stuff is not in water in the bag like Eco-Complete is, and is completely different as far as how dirty it is. Guys, this stuff is like dirt. It's like putting literal dirt in your aquarium. Now, you are supposed to kind of rinse it off, and I did that, but you don't want to, you know, soak it or anything, because you're basically washing away all the nutrients that it holds in it. So you couldn't really do that, and it took a couple days for this tank to get really clear, but it was so dang cloudy, guys. When I put this stuff in here and got it filled up, I was afraid to turn on the filter. That's how cloudy it was, because I was afraid it might actually clog up the filter. So let it kind of settle down for a few hours, then turn it on. But now it's crystal clear. You just got to be really careful when you kind of get close to the bottom and disturb it, because that stuff can make a mess in a tank. But we'll see how it does growing plants. Like I said, Eco-Complete has done a really good job for me as far as growing plants, so I'm kind of eager to try this out. And you can see on this batch there is some good leaves in this section, but none of this is at all. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait for that new growth to come in and see how this does in here. But I promise you guys, the videos are about to get back on a normal schedule. Actually, I'm probably gonna start getting back to how I was posting like before summer, so more than once a week. I'm gonna try to get to maybe 2 to 3 videos a week, and I'm gonna be getting a really cool new addition for the outdoor pond later on in this week. I've been in the talks with getting this fish from this person for a few weeks now, and it is a fish, so I'm going to be getting it. And it's a fish I've talked about maybe getting for the pond before. Didn't really know if it was ever going to work out, but it is, and it's going to be a really cool new addition to the pond. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, please be sure to give it a like down below. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Videos are back. I'm gonna start getting back posting consistently, and yeah, we're gonna be getting some cool stuff. So see you guys in the next video. Peace.